You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
This is my exam. I haven't opened my laptop since I took my exam.
You do your exam on your laptop?
Yeah.
You typed all that?
Well, it's not. Why is it not letting me scroll? Because there's way more to the exam. I mean,
is that the question? Hi, everybody.
These are each. Z's basis for suing A would be based on negligently including peanut oil and then failing to. This is my that. But there were 12 questions.
Oh, that's your answer.
Yeah, these are
What's
just the answers.
Font? Why is that blue like that?
It's blue once you submit it. You type it as green.
Interesting. Software's a different world today.
I wonder, can I save, submit, save to flash drive, save options?
You sure? You sure you definitely?
Yeah, no, it's already submitted. It's already submitted. See confirmation.
And do you go to a class to do it, or you at home?
We all sit in the classroom. But I'm done with exams.
How do they know you're not cheating? How do they know you're not cheating?
That software, you type it, you go into that software, you select your exam and everything, and then it locks your computer just to that. You can't access anything else.
Did I tell you? So I met someone.
I don't know how you cheat on a law school exam really anyways.
Google and shit.
No, but that software locks your computer.
Gotcha.
You can't access anything.
So the it's not what I want to talk about, but while we're talking about this, I met someone who's the president of a university, a local university here, and I was talking about, and he thinks like AI is the downfall of our society, worse than with social media, which we talked about, and
we have our feelings on that.
Wholeheartedly fucking agree.
Yeah.
He says that they have software, they know if someone's using ChatGPT.
So there are.
Let me finish. And so they can reverse engineer. There's a software program.
Doesn't really work.
They know if someone's plagiarizing.
They know.
Which I want to talk about that fucking Harvard dean who plagiarized all our fucking stuff. You know about that?
No, I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, I got about 5 topics right now, just so you know.
Oh,
this is going to be the JB podcast right now.
Okay, I'm here.
Be very careful though, because I might not need you.
This has always been the JB podcast.
Okay. All
right. Jon and Bron. See how I did that there?
Okay.
I think it's like how parents think they know what their kids are up to, and they're like, I know, but they really know like 20% of what their kid's up to, right? And then I think that's the same thing. This colleges, I think they're like, this software gets it 100% of the time.
We don't know you're speculating, but there is great technology out there that is going to be able to do that for this purpose.
Yeah. It's just sometimes it's very hard to decipher that, and it gets it wrong. I've heard stories where people didn't plagiarize, and the software was like, this is AI.
Could happen, of course. So before we go into
and then how do you disprove that? You know, it's like
have to litigate like anything else,
right? But now it's like Minority Report, where they're gonna arrest you even before you did anything wrong.
There's a lot of problems. This whole AI opens up a whole new can of worms for law. Like when it just
changes everything in the world
in a bad way.
Yeah.
So I'm in the mall this morning getting some shit with mom. We take care of, and we're in Bloomingdale's, and I'm not joking. Every saleswoman knew mom's name.
Well, yeah, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
A problem.
Mom was showing me the Chanel store woman who works there.
Gabriella.
Who was texting mom about our podcast. She listens.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. Listen.
So literally the person in the Chanel store is just texting mom about us.
All right. So I've got a couple of things, okay, that I want to, that I've listed. I'm so proud of myself.
Also, we just have to acknowledge that Burke. We're leaving to Cuba in less than 24 hours.
But this is a legit mistake.
Actually, we're leaving for Cuba in 12 hours. We're leaving at 4 a.m, and they were recording this at 4.
Total legit mistake.
So we're leaving for Cuba in 12 hours, and we're just all starting to pack.
And I'm very anal. Like I have my list, right? Mm-hmm. But I did not put on my list passports, and I was walking into the studio.
That was the first thing I packed already.
Very odd for me, because I don't think of Cuba so close. I think it's like...
I know, but it's like
I got a taste of Cuba with all my cigar humidors.
It's literally Cuba's one of the countries where you need your passport the most.
Correct.
Because we have bad relations with
them.
So
I said, do we need our passports? You go, yeah. And I went upstairs, and I only had 3, and they were mine, Mom's, and Bryce's. And Burke's is in California. We are leaving tomorrow 5:30 in the morning, and Burke now is seeing if one of his buddies can Federal Express from California to here, so he gets it Sunday and he'll have to come out Monday. Which is not the end all.
No, at least he remembered it now and not like tomorrow morning.
Oh no,
as we were about to leave. That would suck.
I had a little epiphany. I don't know why. As I walked into the studio, if I didn't have that, I'd be going to the fucking airport in Miami at 4:30 in the morning without a pay, and we would be coming home.
I would be the only one going,
and you would not go.
I probably would have gone.
Come on,
you guys would just go the next day, or would you just cancel the trip?
Cancel the trip
and lose all that money rather than just go another day? I guess it's not all that money, but still, it's money.
It's money. All right. So a couple things before we go into the plagiarism thing.
We are going to be doing an episode from Cuba behind the red curtain.
You should, if you're not a
On
Patreon,
Patreon.
You should be joining. It's shocking if you don't join.
We're gonna smuggle in our equipment.
Who
Not
talks
actually.
like that?
No.
So I watched.
But we will be doing that. So
I
if you want
watched
to hear
with
Cuba
Burke.
episode.
I knew the story, but I watched with Burke the other night. Snowden.
Okay.
I liked it.
I never saw the movie.
Okay. I think you should 100% watch it.
Crazy how he did it with the Rubik's Cube little chip, right?
Really cool.
Crazy.
But I have to tell you, solid movie. 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
How do you feel about that?
I'm going to
idea,
talk about that.
About the whistleblower.
Solid movie. I don't want to tell you about the end because you know the story.
Well,
but
it's a true story.
But I don't want to tell you about the end.
Okay.
Because it's like when you watch right before it goes to the credits, it's like a really cool thing. I have to tell you, really good movie. And the entire time, you didn't, like, it wasn't like, it's slow.
Well, it's an Oliver Stone movie. He makes great movies.
It was a really solid movie. I highly recommend it. I know it's an older movie, but I liked it.
Not that old. 5, 7 years?
Yeah, okay. Very interesting. Now,
The story, yeah.
why don't you tell the story? So this started with Obama, really, a little bit before Obama. And what happened was the government has software where they fully spy on everybody. So
the post 9/11,
correct.
the Bush administration with the Patriot Act, right? People talk about the Patriot Act. There were sweeping measures in the Patriot Act, and the idea was our country's under attack, so we need to amp up the federal government's power so that we can
FISA court, right? That's what they call it, FISA, something. Yeah, it's
okay, I don't know.
international.
But
federal, international, something, whatever.
Out of
that issues the warrants that will allow the government, and it's just a rubber stamp. Unlike you need probable cause in the U.S. to search or things like that, or to videotape or record. Here, this foreign judiciary branch, which is a crock, which is more rubber stamp, allows, and I'm sorry, the federal government to listen, like your camera on your laptop,
but you're
phone,
jumping ahead.
everything. Okay, go ahead.
Because the Patriot Act established the Department of Homeland Security, which didn't exist before 9/11. Now we think that's like a huge government agency. It did not exist at all. And people are like, why do we need Department of Homeland Security? We have the FBI, we have the CIA. What are these people going to be doing?
Another budgetary bullshit thing.
So they did that, and they also did the National Security Agency at the NSA.
Correct,
and
they talk about that too, the NSA.
Right, because that's where Snowden worked.
Right.
So the NSA was supposed to be like, the idea that the government was pitching was this is a new government agency that's going to be doing it's going to be monitoring terrorism across the country
to
protect
world.
Right, that's what I meant. Across the world to protect Americans back at home.
And how they did that, and what they were trying to do was they wanted to monitor in the U.S. and outside the U.S. everyone's emails.
Well, but that's the thing. So they just said we're going to be monitoring terrorism, foreign and domestic, so that we can protect ourselves. No one knew what was actually happening. That's the problem. So that's what Snowden released. Now we're all like, oh my God, the NSA was reading our emails, reading our texts.
They're still doing it now, by the way.
Right. But no one knew that they said we are not doing that. The NSA, we're just monitoring
and they lied
terrorism.
in front of Congress, the whole 9 yards.
But it turns out that they actually they had full access to every single person's email, text records, phone calls,
right?
And they were monitoring
and cameras
everyone.
on your laptop and your phone, things like that. So here's the thing. So the interesting part is that
they're still doing this. That
of course,
agency still exists.
Okay, not only still doing it, but you accept the terms on your iPhone. You know that they're using it for marketing and all that good stuff, and data mining. And
but that's very different.
But
data mining, like selling so that they can advertise to me better, is very different than the government reading my texts.
Really, but call it what you want. The label. The fact is, they're still searching everything. They still watch everything.
I'd rather. I feel more safe with Target, like the company Target, having access to my emails than the U.S. government having access to my emails.
Right.
Because Target, their only reason is to make more money off of me. So there's no harm really that they can do. The U.S. government, it's like they can just arrest me if I have something bad in my emails.
Not necessarily. Yes and no, but either way, it was about the invasion of privacy and people not having knowledge, and the fact that even on your laptop, the little camera, how they can see what's going on, listening to everything. Which again, we know that Amazon does. We know that Siri does. We know that Alexa does.
That's Amazon,
right? All these things. So
but those we at least buy and put in our home, knowing that they'll do that. This is the government is just doing it without our permission or our knowledge. That's very different.
Yeah, and it was really interesting was so this guy Snowden was brilliant, beyond brilliant. Like he's building these programs. He was a coder, but very good at what he did. So it allowed you to, for example, not only would it check yours, but anyone you were like 10 degrees separation from you that you communicate, they go that deep into those people as well. And they would come up with like, in a day, like it would be search 3 billion or 3 million emails, whatever, a day from each location. And then you put in keywords, like you search words, and it would show you like who wants, it would say, I want to kill someone. Like just recently, there was something where this 19-year-old kid was just arrested because he was going to go on the subway on Thanksgiving Day. Did you hear about that? So this 19-year-old kid who was previously arrested, he was emailing and putting on social media that I wouldn't go on the subway on Thanksgiving Day. I'm going to fuck people up. I'm going to shoot them, whatever. They arrested him. They caught him in advance because of those emails.
But he was posting it publicly. If you said he was posting it on Facebook, that's very different.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, like, but at least that social media, people are so dumb, but at least social media, at least that helps that people are searching those things to stop that. So he did. So Snowden, who signs a whole thing and has high security clearance, things like that, he realized what they were doing was wrong in his eyes, to his moral compass.
Right, because that's the whole crux of the story. Is what Snowden did wrong, or is what the government was doing
because
wrong?
He agreed to take an oath,
right?
And he was very America. He clearly was America. He believed in our government, all that good stuff. And I guess he got discouraged because he was doing things that he felt that the people of innocent people did not know, and therefore there was a problem. So it was very high security. So he went ahead and left. He stole the chip, downloaded everything, and left.
Right, and he worked with. So I've talked about
high.
I talk a lot about on this show, like Glenn Greenwald. I don't know if you remember. We've talked about his articles a lot. He's a reporter. He's the one that worked with Snowden to break the story. It was the two of them.
I watched. They had him on. The reporter was very cool, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was, so now because there's this espionage law, he had to flee, and he's in Russia still in Russia. But he's with his wife and has a baby and things like that.
Right? No, he's made his life there.
He made his life
because
there.
if he stepped foot on American soil, he will be arrested immediately.
Correct. So the dilemma is,
which is also problematic. The fact that the government is demonizing someone for making something public. That is the government works for us, right? So it's like the fact that they've ruined someone's life for just giving things back to us. We paid
being a whistleblower, just being a whistleblower,
right? And so that also shows that the government knows they're up to no good.
Yes,
because if they're going to try to silence anyone that gives up information, it's like, and it wasn't even he wasn't giving up secrets that another government might use against us. He was just saying to the American people, the government is spying on you.
Well, he did that. Listen, he did download files. He did download high security things. He did talk about the proprietary stuff. He talked about, the software that he developed and the government has, which is owned by the government, so to speak. So, listen, it's a catch-22 because, when you watch A Few Good Men and when Jack Nicholson with Tom Cruise, and he says, you can't
handle the truth.
Great scene, by the way. And when he did that thing, which was improper, when he said to have the certain people beaten up, whatever, what Jack Nicholson did, he said to Tom Cruise, soldier, you don't understand. You've never been in the trenches. You need people like me to protect you, to give you freedom with things like that. There are things we do that you never want to know, that people should never know. And there is truth, and it gives me chills.
Or do you also think that you can just justify anything being like, we have to be spying on Bronson Bloom at home because we have to keep us safe? It's like, no, you don't. We've never had that. But the world changes. Things change. But the government,
I don't know the answer.
The government will always just try to justify being like, no, we have to do this for your security.
All right, but there are.
It's like Big Brother. Don't worry, we're doing this for you. It's for the betterment of you. And it's like, how do you know?
I'm not making a judgment call. I'm just saying that I do understand. Like, there are things that you need to do if you're in war. You're gonna have to compromise certain things.
But we're not in war. That's the thing.
I'm just saying.
They were spying on grandmas at home in Wisconsin. There's no war there. It's very different.
Listen, I think personally,
if they were spying on Chinese and Russian citizens illegally, I'd be like, okay, that's a little different. But we're not like that war justification. It's not a justification.
No, I get it. I really, I don't. Here's the problem. I don't know if it should be a civil or criminal thing, because we're dealing with such high classified information and it's clearance, okay? High clearance, security clearance. And I don't know if
Do you view him as a hero or a bad guy? Because that's the whole thing.
Okay,
people are divided.
I view him as a hero, but I understand. But the problem what I have, this is the problem I do have, is that he's in a position of trust to do something that's high security clearance, and he breached that, and there should be some penalties for it. Criminal, civil, I don't know, and it should be judged by a group of his peers,
Which
right?
you never would.
I get it because it's such a bureaucracy, but if everybody did that, if everybody said, I don't like the government anymore, I want to turn and leave.
No, but it's not just for not liking something. It's
He
like,
didn't
do you
agree.
have is there a moral obligation that humans have that even if they have taken an oath, if something is truly morally wrong, do you have a duty to speak up?
You're right, but you and I have had a
I
conversation.
think you
Everybody's
do.
morals are different. We've talked about that ad
right,
nauseum.
of course.
So,
But that's what he was he believes his set of morals. He felt he was obligated. He felt because he'll say this. He says, "My oath was to the American people. I was innocent," and so this
I
was
agree.
against their
I agree with him.
better
I agree with
interest,
him.
and so I felt like I had to
I
come
respect the guy a
and
lot.
he destroyed his life for it.
Yeah, I respect the guy a lot.
Yeah.
I just see, I can definitely make it on both sides, but
Yeah.
I think what he did was the more on the right side than not.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But he knew his consequences.
I think
Guy's
he's a hero
brilliant,
because
by
he
the way.
sacrificed his life
Beyond, I agree. I agree.
for the betterment of the American public against the wishes of the American government.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I highly recommend you watch the movie.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Really good movie.
he zoomed in to Rogan a few years ago because he can't come.
Okay, he zoomed in at the end.
Oh, okay.
Like a TED Talk.
Yeah, because he can't.
So
he
it
can't
starts
leave
with
Russia.
it starts with the actor, and then it gives me chills.
Even if
and it gradually goes into the guy's regular guy, and you're like,
okay.
fuck, that's what I want to tell you, but it doesn't
No,
ruin the
that's
movie.
right. I mean,
It's
I've watched
great.
many interviews with him.
Okay.
But even if he stepped foot in France, the French
No,
government would extradite
he's
him,
in
right?
Russia. He's in
And he can only go to Russia or China because they're the only governments that would be, or Iran or something, because they're the only governments that would not extradite him out to America.
It's
And
great
same with
movie.
Julian Assange, who did WikiLeaks, which is the same kind of idea. And he's in the Ecuadorian embassy in the UK.
Yeah, weird.
And he cannot leave the embassy
And
for
wasn't
5
he
years.
Pamela Anderson or something?
Yeah, she would come to the embassy
What is
to
wrong with
have sex with him.
What is wrong with her?
Yeah.
There's 7 billion people.
I mean, good for him, I guess.
All right, so that's that. Okay. Now here's another one.
Damn, rapid fire. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, so in Seattle, there's a 4th grader.
Yeah. Is this the one about how he said women can't get pregnant?
Correct.
Yeah,
You know
I saw
about that? Let's
Yeah.
talk about that.
Know about that?
You want to talk about
Hear
that?
about that?
You want to talk about that?
So yeah.
I'm getting my Cuban talk on, by the way. I'm really
That's-
upset about Burke.
Yeah.
That's a sucks.
Although
Why
tomorrow
does it say that's a sucks?
tomorrow at the airport will be a little easier without him, to be honest. He kind of
I
slows
don't have to
everything
get him
down.
up.
Yeah, he slows everything down.
I should make him wake. I should make him get up to drive
And
to the
drive
airport.
you, imagine.
Okay.
What was I going to say? Okay, so in Seattle,
By the way, I just want to say, this is fucked up.
there was an elementary school test or something,
Yeah, 4th grade.
and a kid answered that only women can get pregnant.
They say can
I don't know if that was the question was just blatant. Can men get pregnant?
Okay, all right.
I don't know if it was. We can look up the question.
But 4th grade.
But basically, he answered only women can get pregnant, and the school marked that as incorrect.
Correct. How fucked up is that? But of course, it's
But I mean,
Seattle.
it's Seattle. Let's see. Seattle. Well, what the fuck happened to my computer? Seattle, 4th grade. Let's see. News.
What's it got?
I don't know if, wait, hold on. Seattle, women pregnant. Okay. It was 10th grade.
Oh, interesting.
10th grade student at Chief Stealth International High School reportedly failed a true or false quiz titled Understanding Gender vs. Sex in his Ethnic Studies World History class.
Okay.
They're teaching that in high school.
First of all,
So they're teaching
right.
Ethnic Studies World History.
And what are you going to do with that?
World history, sure. Ethnic
Okay.
Studies
Well,
World
okay,
History.
let's talk about that.
Although I guess if you're learning about maybe that's more like anthropology, ethnic studies, like you're learning about different ethnic groups across different cultures.
Anthropology, isn't that? No, it's archaeology.
Anthropology is learning
Isn't that a
about
store in the mall?
anthropology is studying cultures and how
what are you gonna
different
do with
humans.
that? What are you going to do with that?
Be a
Seriously.
professor.
Okay, all right, great. Let me know how that works out for you. All schools are going to be online anyway by the time they're
So
over.
it says The student labeled two statements as true. The first one was all men have penises, and the second that only women can get pregnant. He was marked incorrect for both and failed the knowledge check quiz as a result. His mom said, I keep trying to wrap my head around how it is illegal to teach inaccurate information and force students to answer against their beliefs. That's just crazy how it's like they're posing it as true or false. So it's like there's a correct answer rather than maybe if you're in a gender studies class, be like, write an essay on the idea that not all men might have penises. And then you could be like, trans, blah, blah, blah.
But then they're not treated as men if they want.
But maybe then if you do like an opinion.
You can't have both ways. You can't have both. If you're a dude, you got to have a dick.
Well, they don't, the liberal progressive gender ideology doesn't believe that.
Okay. Let me know how it works out for them.
I mean, it's not working out for them.
Right.
They're all, the hell was that?
The fuck was that?
The dog, I don't know.
All right. I don't know.
They're all.
It's like a hurricane out there.
Yeah. It's actually a cyclone. There's literally a cyclone over Florida right now. Yeah. Hopefully the flight leaves.
We got to get it out of here.
We got to get it out of here?
Yeah, let it pass, man.
Well, it is passing.
I don't want there to be any leaks on my roof. I'm worried about the shit on the roof. I don't even know if the stuff's still there on the roof.
Yeah, I'm sure. We can go up there if you want to.
All right, so let's talk about. All right, so that
was another one.
You don't
Fucked
like that
up.
One.
No, I do. But what more to say? Like we know that these people are crazy and messed up.
So the Harvard professor, who when you look at her, you're like, give me a fucking break. Her last name is Gay. I don't know if she's gay or
Which
not.
I love that her last name's Gay.
Yeah, she looks like she's a dyke,
lesbian.
not right. No, lesbians are hot. Dykes are ugly.
No.
Okay. You got to pull it up. You know nothing about it?
No.
Oh my God, Bron.
I've kind
you're
of been
right.
insulated
welcome
the last.
to my world. There you go. Look at that. You're right.
True. That's why the tables have turned. Because I have been insulated because I've been studying, so I haven't really gone on Twitter all that much.
I got to carry this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, well, thank you. You did come up with topics.
That's what I'm here for, Bronny.
Yeah.
So
Claudine Gay.
Okay, wait till you see. Major problem. Look at it. First of all, look at her. You know what she looks like? She looks like a black version of the guy who did Six Flags Great Adventure commercials.
It's called Six. It's just Six Flags.
Well, it
Six Flags.
It used to be called Great Adventure when I grew up.
Well, in New York, that one. But there's Six Flags everywhere.
All right, so those are my three.
Do you know why Six Flags is called Six Flags?
Because it's Six Flags, 6 different.
Well, what does that mean? What do you mean?
That was a logo.
Right, but why is it 6?
Because they didn't want to spend for 7.
No. So this is actually kind of interesting. Six Flags is a Texas company. It started in Texas. It's operated in Texas. It's called Six.
You need to get a life. Seriously.
It's called Six Flags because Texas has been ruled under 6 different flags in the course of their state's history.
Okay.
So it's called Six Flags. They've been part of Mexico. They've been in their own independent country. They've obviously been part of America. They've been part of the Texas Confederacy, right? Like they were their own country. They were part of the actual Confederacy, and then they were part of what's the 6th flag? Hold on, 6 Flags of Texas. Let me see.
What is that? What is that?
Something's banging. That was the door, the side door, I think. Oh, so they originally were part of Spain, so they were flown under the Spanish flag. Then they were French, so they were flown under the French flag. Then Mexico. Then they were their own country, the Republic of Texas. They were fully their own country. I wish
they still were, huh?
They were their own country for 9 years.
Wow.
Then the Confederate, so they were part of the Confederacy, and then America. So they've lived under 6 flags, and so that's why I don't think a lot of people know that 6 Flags.
No, I never knew that.
The company is
and
called.
Why
that.
would they know that?
I don't know why I know that.
Yeah, that's
either,
pretty scary. So go ahead, look. This is fucking ridiculous.
So what am I looking up?
Her.
No, right. But what specifically? You said
all
she plagiarized or something?
Were plagiarized for like 15 of all her documents. She plagiarized.
Okay, so
and,
Harvard
and they're not letting her go.
Right, now, they stood behind her.
They stood behind her because she's fucking black.
Which I kind of respect. That they're not kowtowing.
No, because if it was a white person,
well, yeah, of course,
that person be gone. And then there's these black scholar professors and doctors are so pissed because it not only does harm the black community,
it does,
but it puts a blemish on it.
Definitely, like when Jews do certain things, I'm like,
Bernie Madoff.
Dude, this is bad for the
community. When Bernie Madoff
community.
did it, it harmed our community.
Right. It was like
it's a blemish.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
So it says Harvard President Claudine Gay submitted corrections to 2 scholarly articles that were published in 2001 and 2017 following allegations of plagiarism. Harvard commissioned an independent review of her writings following the plagiarism accusations. She denied the allegations, saying in a statement last week that she stands by the integrity of her scholarship. What were the Bill Ackman, a billionaire Harvard donor,
pulled in every
has been calling on her to resign in part because of the allegations of plagiarism. But the Harvard Corporation said that the review was requested before Ackman made the claims. I want to know what the plagiarism.
He's the largest donor.
Was.
You know that.
Yeah.
He pulled all his fucking donations. And so did our friend's uncle. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He pulled it too. He gave like $50 million or something. He pulled it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So let's see.
But Ackerman gave like $500 million or something to Harvard.
Oh, I'm sure, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Because they already have so much money. I don't know, like, what's he going to get out of that?
No, he'd send them at like, fuck you.
No. But I'm saying when he originally gave the money, what's he planning on getting out of that?
Nothing. It's just, I guess he could
write
off some
that
shit.
much money. I want to try to find the actual. The only articles that I can find are about her correcting it.
No, okay.
But I want to find the original here. Let's see, from New York Post. The Post began investigating.
Do you think she got her fucking position like fucking Blackity Annie for the who works for Biden? You think they got their position because of their credentials or because of their lesbian black?
No comment. Well, we don't know she's lesbian.
No, I'm saying, but think about it. The other one,
Karen Jean-Pierre,
whatever her name is, looks like Raggedy Ann.
Yeah.
You think she really
Blackity Ann?
I'm saying that. So you really think she got it because of her credentials? Honestly, I get it. Jen Psaki, who she might have known somebody, whatever. But
or she might have sucked somebody.
That's right. But you really think she got it, or she's the trifecta? I mean, come on. People need to start getting things on their credentials.
It seems more likely.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
The Post began investigating Gates' potential plagiarism weeks before the disastrous House testimony on anti-Semitism. The school's response was to stall for days and threaten us. The first we heard back was on October 7th from an elite lawyer with a 15-page missive IDing him as defamation counsel for the university.
You don't missive, right?
No.
It's a writing.
Okay. The document quoted several professors who'd apparently been plagiarized but saw no harm.
Look at her.
Other reporters were looking at it. So it seems like no one knows the specific. The first public word from Harvard was a passage citing the plagiarism issue, announcing that the Harvard Corporation is standing by their president, noted that she's making 4 clarifications across 2 papers. Meanwhile, at least 2 academics are on record resenting her apparent abuse of their work. So, yeah, I guess. Oh, here, Carol Swain, a former political science professor at Vanderbilt, said, quote, "I feel like her whole research agenda, her whole career was based on my work. And my message to Harvard is you don't get to redefine what is plagiarism. Most of us know what plagiarism is."
Right, they rewrite it.
University of Miami in Ohio professor Ann Williamson said, quote, it does look like plagiarism to me. There was a way to draw from my paper. All she had to do is give me credit. But plagiarism's hard.
It is,
like
right?
So what? These 2 women are saying, yep, those were my ideas. It's like, okay, but you got to back that up. And I guess we don't know yet.
But okay, and again, I think they said like 15 of her prior papers have issues. And you never know.
And also, though,
but
to be fair,
but I don't want to be fair because I'm anti these Ivy League schools and the way they approach it. So fuck them. I don't want to be fair.
I was going to say, to be fair, like being the head of a school, you don't need to like necessarily be like a good scholar. They're different things. One's an administrative role. Like a good professor doesn't translate to a good headmaster.
No, but
they're very different roles.
I get it, but I'm saying if she got a job based on her credentials and they're relying upon that, and then and in the school of it's academic based, and if you're
but an administrator isn't academic based.
But there's a big difference. You have to practice what you preach, and if you don't, and if you are in charge,
yes, that's true.
Okay, for example, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
So I think that's where it comes down to the issue, and again the favoritism of the whole diversity and liberalism and things like that. So somebody getting the job because of their color, their ethnic group, their race, their sexuality. I mean, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, but that's definitely starting to change.
Well, even these fucking colleges. I mean, I fuck these Ivy Leagues.
Yeah,
I've always said that from day one.
Yeah,
that's why I went to the worst school,
and it's gonna start changing. Like they're gonna
People are not gonna want to go.
So my friend got into Wharton. He applied like months ago for business school, and he got in. And last night he was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, no, I applied before all this shit was happening, and I don't think I'm gonna go now because he's a Jewish man, and he's like, I don't think I can go. So it's like the fact that's going to happen, and it's going to hurt their bottom line. For sure.
will it, or they'll get all the Asians, and
maybe.
the Indians,
and
then or the foreigners will go back to their country.
But that'll still hurt their bottom line because then they won't get those alumni donations.
Yeah, but they have billions upon billions. You know what their interest alone and the real estate holdings they have? I think the economic of this will be fine.
Yeah.
But it shows you these schools are a fucking joke.
Oh, absolutely.
They're a joke.
Which we've been saying for a while.
I've been saying for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've also said the anti-Semitism for a long time.
Yeah. So do you have another topic? Or
no,
can
that's
I bring
it.
Up one?
I figured I'd take care of the first half.
Thank you. I appreciate
now
it.
I'm going to pass the baton. It's all
Thank
you,
you.
Tatala.
Have you heard
did
of...
we do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
What the fuck?
Something's banging in the house.
We want to check the roof.
Well, there's no way that was the roof. That's 2 floors above us.
All right, we got to check it. Go ahead.
Maybe it's like things banging, like trees falling or something outside.
Go ahead.
Have you heard about this Panera lemonade?
No.
So Panera,
Yes.
the bread company,
Yeah.
that makes shitty. It's shitty.
No, but
When's the last time you've been?
5 years, 10 years?
Right. It used to be
Because
good.
we don't eat like that.
But it used to be
But
good.
today we're in the mall. I got to interrupt. I'm sorry. And Mom's like, you want to go to Flakewood? I go, and it was pouring. I go, let's just go. I'll get some I'll get some bourbon.
Hey, stop.
Bourbon chicken. But then
It's so good.
It's so good. Wait, but we saw Moe's.
Mao's.
And we ate it.
The falafel.
And I got to tell
Unreal.
you. No, let me explain something to you.
Unreal. They
so-
put crack in that or something.
No, I want to say something. First of all, Mom and I total $20.30. Just so, never unheard of.
They're falafel sandwiches.
No, but I literally turned into an 80-year-old Jewish man. Everybody kept saying to Mom, I go, this is one of the best lunches.
What'd you get in it? I love falafel and pita.
No, it was so good.
Yeah.
So I got
sauces.
tabbouleh.
Yeah.
That garlic sauce is killer.
Yeah.
I got tabbouleh.
I think it's a local company too, so shout out them.
Phenomenal. Our friends own it.
Yeah, right,
this
right.
local one.
That's what
it's a franchise.
Oh, is it national? I thought those people owned the company.
Okay, you know what they'd be worth?
Are there many of them?
Yes, it's a major franchise. They own a couple, I believe. It's a major franchise. Boy, I want to tell you what I got, and it was so good.
Okay, I'm listening.
So I got the pita.
Okay.
I
don't know if it's a major company, but they don't have a website.
It is
They only have 4,000 followers on Instagram.
Okay, it is
here's their website.
It is 100% franchises.
Okay, keep going. I'm listening.
And packed. He had 15 people working in the back there in a little area.
Yeah, it's little.
Okay. It was. I got the falafel. I got the tabbouleh. I got the fucking coleslaw, which is killer in it.
Oh yeah.
And I went even a little crazy. Ready?
Oh yeah, they have a lot. They have some in Brazil.
You know what I got on that fucking thing?
What?
I got
French fries?
No, I didn't want because I didn't want the extra crispy fucking pickles on it.
Nice.
And then I had the garlic I got that. I couldn't stop every bite. Mom must have thought I was retarded. I think I found my new, but probably fatty as shit.
It's not the best for you. Yeah.
But
it's not bad for you, but it's just like fried and a lot of carbs.
No, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Falafel's great.
Yeah, it was.
How can you be anti-Semitic when falafel exists?
Wow. I just got to tell you, wow.
Yeah.
Like really good. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Panera, like all these other companies, 10 years ago, the quality of all these places were just higher.
True.
They've all been bought up by like the State Street and Vanguard or whatever.
And shit,
and they cut all the costs and all the shit. So it's not as good as it used to be, which is a shame. It really is it used to be good. Their French onion soup used to be great in a bread bowl.
They were I got the
and they were like kind of healthy.
I got a cup of coffee. I got my first.
I fucked this up.
I got my first cappuccino in 3 weeks. And I went to the one in the mall, and I'm waiting for it. And I got to tell you something. They have fucking pastries. Like if you knew you're going to jail, no, I didn't get any of them. I was proud. But if you're going to jail, you want to destroy that pastry.
French pastries are just the
that
best.
pastry and those fucking things. There was not one thing I wouldn't eat, and everything was better than the other.
We're all over the place. Okay, so Panera has like a few months ago released I think they call it charged lemonade. It's lemonade, but it has
alcohol.
No, caffeine. So it's supposed to be like an energy drink, but lemonade. But they put so much caffeine. It has like 300 milligrams of caffeine. It's like each cup is like 5 cups of coffee worth.
That's gotta hurt your stomach.
That people have died from drinking this lemonade.
You're kidding me?
And so now it's become this huge thing. Everyone's like,
what were they thinking?
Everyone's like, what the fuck's up with this lemonade?
What were they thinking?
And it's still, we can go buy it. You can go, but it's like, some people love it because they're like, it's so good. It makes me feel great. And then other people,
But how can it make you feel good? It's got to make everything race in your body.
yeah, but that's probably feels
When
good.
I had
It's
a
probably
large
like you're doing
cappuccino
like a
with 2
line
shots,
of cocaine.
with 2 shots, it hurt my stomach.
Well, coffee hurts your stomach, not the caffeine.
Okay.
That's the coffee
Gotcha,
itself.
okay. All right.
But it's like, 2 people have died from lemonade at Panera. And they're still,
How do they know it's from Panera?
it is. I mean, let me see. Panera.
So why would they still serve it?
I don't know, right? But I want to try it.
No. Okay. Really? And you?
I just
no,
want-
No. Do not try it.
Yeah, look. Panera Bread faces second wrongful death suit from caffeinated charged lemonade.
Jesus.
Panera Bread is at the center of another wrongful death lawsuit after a Florida family claims the restaurant's caffeinated lemonade caused Dennis Brown to go in a cardiac arrest.
Jesus.
Popular fast food chain issued warnings in October and added signage on their menus.
So then why serve it?
Right? For the highly caffeinated charged lemonade beverages after another lawsuit alleged a woman died
Why
after
would you
drinking it.
serve it? You're an idiot. There's no benefit. They're making that much money from lemonade. The answer is no.
But
Is
now,
their whole business lemonade based?
but now everyone's talking about this lemonade. I feel like
But no
Panera's-
one's taking it.
Panera's
No,
sales
I
are
don't
up.
agree.
It says, in the wake of the death earlier this
God.
year, the restaurant chain at the time advised customers that the drinks contain as much caffeine as Panera's dark roast coffee and has cautioned customers to use it in moderation. A standard order of the lemonade contains 13 milligrams of caffeine per ounce, but the ice drink did not previously account for the possible ice dilution in its original nutrition descriptions. ABC News learned Panera is undertaking the process of adapting its menu. Here, so the 30-ounce large size charged
30
lemonade
ounce.
was
Wait,
listed.
you know how big 30 ounces?
Well, so it says originally it was listed on the menu as containing 390 milligrams of caffeine at the time.
That's a lot.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah. Although it says it's just shy of the 10 milligram recommended daily maximum adult consumption of caffeine, according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Now
Just because someone died doesn't mean it's their fault. Doesn't mean they're liable.
well, that was my whole tort exam that I just took, was literally all about negligence and all that shit and products liability. And so but people have been talking about it, and I just wanted to let you know. And I low-key want to try it because I just want to see.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's just about lemonade. But then there was these images from like a Trump speech a few nights ago that they've been debunked. Someone just made it up. But he was talking, he was like, when I was president, the lemonade, we all loved it. It was great. It was wholesome. Now under Biden, the lemonade's killing people. And it was like this whole thing. Everyone was like, Trump's the best for saying this shit. But it was fake,
Gotcha.
unfortunately. But it is something he would say.
It is. And I got to tell you, when you mention Trump, every time you mention Trump, I think of that comedian.
Shane Gillis.
The funniest guy I've ever come across in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, he did. I bet you, Melania, is that the wife's name?
Melania.
What's her name?
Melania.
Melania probably says, Donald, I don't want to hear from you. I want to hear from Shane.
Shane Gillis rocks. Yeah.
No, hysterical.
Okay, another topic
Okay.
that is interesting. Totally a pivot. Okay, so this is a straw.
Brandon, you are a strange person.
No, because I wanted to talk about straws, and so I wanted to bring it up to you.
You feel it?
Oh, it's just a rubber straw. Does it?
It's more like a siphon tube, not a straw.
Yeah.
Is this
It's the only straw I could find in the closet.
This was in the closet? This seems
Yeah.
like it should be from the garage.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like for an automotive
I think it's
industry.
for like a bottle, like a
Yes.
big bottle. Okay. Does this have 1 or 2 holes?
2,
Why?
top and bottom. But it's still the same hole.
So is it 1 or 2?
Opening, you said.
Right? Are each of these a hole? The top of this hole, the straw on the bottom of the hole, or is it one long hole?
Valid question. Depends. We have to define what our instructions are a little more.
Because so if you go down the route of it has 1 hole,
That's what he said.
or let's start with it has 2 holes, right? This is a hole and this is a hole. So if you keep shrinking this down, right? Like if I take this exact
You're
straw,
multiplying by 2 the amount of holes.
no, to shrink it. So now instead of it being this long, it's this long, right? And then to the point where it gets like
Paper
barely
thin.
right. Would you still, if you were like, there's 2 holes here, this hole and this hole.
Great
if you
argument.
kept shrinking it down,
You'd say there's 1 hole.
right? Because like if you took a bagel, which is just a flat thing with a hole in the middle, right? That's the same idea. If I shrunk
Yep.
this down, but
It's
if
a
you said
great
a bagel
point.
has 2 holes, the top and the bottom, you'd be like, no way.
Great point.
It obviously has 1 hole.
Great point.
But
And
then
if you had a flagel, which is even thinner,
Sure.
Okay.
So, but then
What if you go to Bialy? What do you do? This sounds like whatchamacallit.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But then if you were like, there's definitely one hole and not two holes, but then I did this. Am I plugging one? Would you agree that I'm plugging one hole? So how if you said there's one hole, right? If you think that this is one hole.
You thought of this on your own?
No, it's something people are talking about.
Then I would tell you, then you need to see.
Because like this
has one hole.
Right. And if I put a hole at the bottom.
All right, I have a question.
Now it has two holes. But if I plugged that hole.
What's the difference between a hole and an opening?
Right. That's the philosophical idea.
No, but what is between a hole and an opening?
Nothing. So I think it has two holes and one hole.
GPT it. Curious to know what it says.
What the difference?
Say, does a straw have one hole or two holes? And what's the difference between a hole and an opening? And how many holes is a woman?
I think it's both. I think it's two holes and it's one hole. Both holes make up or connected to be one hole. Oh, here. The question of this is ChatGPT giving us the answer. The question of whether a straw has one hole or two is a classic example of a simple yet perplexing inquiry that can lead to various interpretations based on how we define a hole.
I think you should give this thesis to the professor, the dean of Harvard. Go ahead.
So it broke it out into the single hole argument and the two hole argument. Single hole argument. If a hole is defined as a continuous empty space through an object, then a straw can be said to have one hole. This viewpoint treats the straw as a cylinder, and the hole is the empty space running through its length. It's akin to a tunnel, which we consider as having one long hole. Right. But if you close, I think this entire thing is one hole, and I go like this, you would also agree that I closed up one of the holes. But then that means it has two holes. So you can't
a hole equivalent to an opening.
Right. Is this the hole or is this the hole?
Right.
And
that's why I say you need further clarification on the instructions.
Right. So, I mean, ChatGPT said it depends on how you define a hole.
Did I not just say that?
So
JBT says it.
Their two-hole argument is alternatively, if a hole is considered as an opening in an object, then a straw might be said to have two holes.
Damn, one at each end. I'm fucking AI.
This perspective views each opening separately.
Shit, bitch.
Ultimately, the answer to the question depends on the definition and perspective one chooses to apply.
The mic, motherfuckers! Huh? Look at that.
So I just wanted to bring that was a little visual aid for that too.
Thank you. Now you could put. Did you take that from my car engine, by the way? Wow, I am impressed with myself.
Yeah, who needs ChatGPT
when you got JB?
Okay.
All right. So any other topics, Bronny?
Yeah. I mean, I have a few others.
It stopped raining. Nice.
Did it?
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
I mean, we could talk like Hunter Biden was like you hear there's like updates with him or something.
What? Yeah, I see.
Like he was actually like convicted of something, or he's being brought into court on charges of something. Hunter Biden.
I'm upset about Berkey. Fuck. What a shame. Little Berkey.
So he had a subpoena. Subpoena is a funny word when you like spell it out. Poena, right?
I just heard 4 of them this week.
I want to know what his charges are. Because I know it was like he was being charged with like tens of millions, spending like tens of millions on like drugs and hookers, which is kind of sick.
He's a fucking wackadoo. Where did they get Bronny? Where does everybody get all this money? Seriously,
insider
you know
trading
how
and
much money this shit is, but the amount of money?
It's just insider trading or some shit.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, we could do a fatherly advice. We haven't done one of those in a while.
Let's do that, Bronny Boo.
All right, let's see. We got some new ones.
Boy, it's a long one. Read it. Go for it.
Okay.
They spent that time.
Yeah. This from Carrie. Hi, my daughter Riley, 22 years old, introduced me to your podcast 2 years ago, and I've been a faithful listener ever since.
Thank you, Carrie.
A little background. Riley graduated a year early from college with a BS in social work. She plans to start her master's in January. She worked 3 jobs during college. Her senior year of college was paid for by the school with a guaranteed job with the Indiana State Department of Child Services.
Good for that. Good. So go get her.
She is 18 months into the 2-year agreement. If she terminates the agreement prior to May 31st, 2024, she's required to pay back $15,000. Since she graduated in May 2022, she's been working for Department of Child Services. She met her boyfriend in October 2022. He's a great guy. We love him. They bought a house in March. Now have a dog and a cat. I say this not only because I'm so proud of her, but to show you she's a hard worker with a big heart for making a difference.
Yeah.
Riley's dad passed away unexpectedly last December in 2022 from complications of cancer. Riley took it very hard, understandably.
Sad.
She and her dad had a good but strained relationship. As you can imagine, Department of Child Services is tough work. During the past 2 years, she's been verbally and mentally assaulted by angry parents who are getting their kids taken away. She's had several emotional breakdowns, and she's at her breaking point. My heart breaks for her. She's ready to quit DCS and get a loan to pay back the $15,000. I've tried giving her advice, but I'm mom. What do I know? I've tried giving her my advice, but I'm mom. What do I know? Her emotions are high. It's the holidays and coming up on the anniversary of her dad's passing. My advice to her has been, it's only 6 more months. It will go by so fast. Reach out to the employment assistance program, maybe talk to a therapist. That way it's documented that she's reached out for help. When someone curses her out, walk away and pass it on to her supervisor. Don't quit a job until you have another one lined up. I think she might take advice from you because she thinks highly of you both. Thanks so much and happy holidays.
Okay. Well, first of all,
so she's listening, right? The daughter and the mom are probably listening.
So, I'm going to answer as a parent, and you're going to answer as if you're Riley, right?
Okay.
All right. So first of all, Carrie,
we're going to have the same answer.
By the way, right? Carrie and Riley, first of all, thanks for being an OG listener and the support. We really appreciate it, and happy holidays to you and every other listener. 1,000%, you do not quit. Okay. You are a very hard worker. You have first of all, sorry to hear about the loss of your dad and your husband. That's a terrible thing. I'm sorry about that. But you are a hard worker and you are a go-getter. You are a leader. And the fact you were able to hold 3 jobs while you're going through school, you got them to pay for your education, and you have a great job. You're looking to make a difference. These people, when they get nasty, abusive, they're not doing it against you. They're doing it based upon the situation and their own shit they have to deal with. But that's the career path you chose. And I think that it could definitely take a toll on you, but you need to create your boundaries. You need to create, some safe mental space for you. And I agree 1,000% with your mom, not because we're both parents or whatever it is, because we're looking at it from a different position. We're looking from a more of a life experience, adult type position. I think you can definitely persevere and get through it. And if you need some time, you take some time, but don't quit at this point, because what's going to happen is you look back and you can get through it and you can persevere. If you quit and you look in the mirror down the road, you can say, I shouldn't have done it as you mature. And that's my opinion. Stick through it. Do the best you can. You have a good support system of a mother that loves you. I'm sure the school, the employer offers different kind of assistance, both emotionally and physically if you need it.
Yeah, I think like those governmental services, they also offer like therapy and stuff for the workers because they need it.
Do not quit. And it's 6 months is a short time.
Yeah. So
but I agree with your mom 100%.
I agree. It's 6 months. Like you have to stick it through. Even if you hate every day, it's 6 months. You can power through that. Even if you think about 6 months for $15,000, just do it for that alone. But then the next, there are more layers to it. If you don't like the job and you're like, I want to quit this field because it's too hard or whatever, you have to finish out the 6 months. And then if you say, you know what, I still want to quit, or I still want to leave this after I finish the term, then okay, I did my best. I tried my hardest. I gave it all I got. And then you can quit feeling good about like being like, oh, career isn't for me. But to quit early with 6 months.
No, when I wouldn't say use the word career, I would say that job might not be for you, but you could stay in that career and do private sector.
Right, or something where they're not yelling at you.
Or a different, maybe socioeconomic area that, where maybe people are more educated and are not as abusive.
Right.
So I wouldn't.
Okay.
At your young age, you sound like you're in your early to mid 20s.
She's 22.
Right. So I think it's a little too early for you to make a determination whether or not you like the career.
It's 6 months.
You can but I'm just saying, but you can have a bad job, even as a lawyer. Like, for example, you graduate law school, you become a lawyer, you're 25 years old. People could work for their first employer for a year or two and hate it. They have the biggest prick, and then they get out of the legal profession. To me, I'm like, no, it's like going on a blind date. You need 2 or 3 dates before you see if you like the person or not. You just can't rely on your first job. You have a boss who's a dick. You cannot like the environment. There's so many. You got to give it 2 or 3 different jobs.
I also think
to see what's what.
Like to base it. I'm sure it's hard that your dad has passed away and that's affecting your work. But there's no way that your dad would want you. Like think of it in your dad's position.
He would tell you not to quit, 100%.
Right, exactly. So that's another way to think about it. Like I'm sure it's hard, but quitting because of that, it's like, think about what your dad would want in this situation. And I'm fairly confident he would probably say, you can't quit that. Come on. You only have 6 months left.
Quit. Listen, Riley, you're not a quitter. And I'll tell you, because the fact that you work hard,
True.
You got your school paid for, you worked 3 jobs while you were in school. You're not a quitter. I could tell based on your accomplishments and what your mom has to say on what she wrote into us, you're not a quitter. So why start now? And you're going to look back, and I got to tell you, we always say this on the podcast, I'm a firm believer in this. What separates the Indians from the Chiefs are those who persevere through the tough times. When you persevere through the tough times, and you're going to have harder times in life, that's just the way it is as you get older. I'm sure your mom will tell you, and any adult will tell you, life has ups and downs. It's how we handle the downs is what separates us from the other people. And being that you are a leader and a go-getter, you already are separated. Don't fall back into the common folk and persevere through it. I'm telling you, you can do it. That's my opinion. And please, Carrie, keep us posted. I want to know what she does, because my gut instinct tells me she's not going to quit. She can have some bad days. Holidays can be tough, but I don't think she's going to quit. But I do want to be kept up to date. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for reaching out.
Do we want to do another
us.
one? I've figured
Sure.
the last like 3-4 weeks, we haven't touched them.
Go ahead, Bronny.
So we can do another
Go
one.
ahead. I'm all yours.
Let's see. This one's kind of interesting. This says, hey guys, my name's Keith. First off, thanks for making amazing content and starting my week off with a bang while I listen to you guys while I'm at work.
Thank you, Keith.
I'm looking for some guidance from Jon and Nell, but it's about, like, you can answer this without mom. I believe in a past episode, Jon mentioned that Nell stayed home to watch the boys while he was at work running the business. I'm currently in that situation and have been for the last 5 years. My wife and I have 2 little girls, and we felt that it was the best thing to do to ensure our girls were going to have the best possible care. Our oldest is in kindergarten now, and our sister is right behind her in preschool. With our girls going to be completely full-time in school soon, I think it's time my wife gets back to work. What did Nell do? Did she go back right away? Did it take a while? Did she go back part-time? Thanks for taking a minute out of your show to read this. I appreciate it and love you guys, Keith.
All right. Thank you, Keith. So a couple things on that. First of all, you and your wife have to be on the same page, number one, right? So you do have to be on the same page. 2 is when your kid is in kindergarten or in preschool, I don't think preschool is really full-time, but I could be wrong. So when we first started and we had a kid, we got very lucky. She was able to work from home before anyone else did it.
Which is crazy, yeah.
Yeah, before anyone did it. So she still did.
That was like in the late 90s, early 2000s, and she was doing that. Because I was born 96.
So it was in 96 is when it happened. So but we always decided, because we are old-fashioned, and we always decided that mom would be more home raising the kids and I'd be providing financially, and I was starting my business and we had no money, so we had to do that. But mom still did work. She worked from home because she was always there for the kids, and we still always had a nanny help out, whether it was cleaning, cooking, whatever it was, to help out, because mom was still working during the day. I think,
But mom stopped working when Burke was born, right?
Mom stopped full time in that regard, because remember, financially we didn't need it, and I sort of let it be up to mom, because listen, working at home, when she worked at home, it didn't matter whether she worked at home or didn't work, because as long as she was there at home with the kids. If she had to go out to work, she would not have done that. That was our role. Right. So working from home, that was her choice.
She was still she was at home with us.
So, but we did know that we both were on the same page, that we didn't want to put our kids in daycare, and we wanted to go ahead and have the mom or one parent raise the children in that regard. But the difference is, if Keith could afford it, right? Like, I think that if mom said, I don't want to work anymore when you kids were younger, we couldn't afford it back then. We had no money. If she said, I don't want to work, and we were able to afford it, mom was, let's say, in her late 20s, early 30s, would I want her not to work at that point? I don't know, because then
So she stopped working at what age? When Burke was born, so that's 2002.
21.
She didn't stop working at 21.
He's 21 years old.
Right, no, I'm saying 2002
back 21 years.
was kind of when she stopped working. So she was like 40? No.
21 years ago, she'd be
40. 30, in her late 30s.
Late 30s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd be 36.
Right.
She was 36.
Okay, so she's
still young.
Yeah. Definitely that's young.
But
she never fully stopped.
But
right.
she still worked, because you come
that's
home.
What Keith. But also Keith is asking, because his wife stopped working, but now what, like, should she go back part-time? Mom, I guess the main question for Keith is like, can you afford for her not to make any money?
Two parts. Economic, can you afford it? And two is, what does your wife want? I'll
Well,
tell you
because
why.
mom
Because
did a lot of work, but not for money.
charity work,
Right.
school fundraising, involved in school big time.
She was busy, but not for
too
money.
busy, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Too busy.
But that's the thing is like, if your wife wants to be active in doing things, and then you have to ask yourself, okay, can we afford for her to do whatever she wants? It doesn't matter the money. Or does she have to get a paying job? Those are very different.
If she's involved in the kid's school, that's huge for the kids, right? If she's involved in charity work and fundraising, so she's going to be busy if that's what she wants to do. But I think that also very important for a relationship, and I got to tell you, this is very important, Keith. Oh, your partner has to have a sense of self-worth. If she just feels that she's home all day and she's doing nothing, it's going to cause resentment for you. And she's going to be bored.
Yeah, right, bored.
She's not going to feel fulfilled. People need a purpose in life. You ever hear about people retiring too early and they pass away and they get bored, whatever? I got to tell you something. You need to sit down and talk to her and ask what she wants. She might say, I want to try it. And in 6 months, she might hate it. She might want to go back to work. She might want to get involved in kids' school.
Or she might want to go back to work and then be like, I hate it. I want to be back
Correct.
home.
Or I want to, or I want to do more for the kids and I want to get involved in charity, which is a great way to get back to people that need it.
So I think the answer to Keith is
It depends on your wife. You got to talk to your wife.
You got to talk, just work with her and see what she wants to do.
Economically, if it's an economic thing, she has to go back to work. That's a given, right? Those are objectively.
It seems like that's not the case, though.
But if it's not, sit down and ask her what she wants.
Yeah.
Because the more fulfilled...
And give her the freedom to be like,
listen,
look, you have to do what you want to do. If you want to stay home, if you want to go work,
but
if you want to work for
the
no
more
work money.
she is, I think the better relationship will be.
Yeah. But it seems like he wants her to go back to work, which is
he does. As a dude, as a guy, I think he's afraid of her sitting there and doing nothing.
Right.
So that's why I asked
twiddling her thumbs.
So maybe
at
you could say, if you don't go back to work, honey, what do you plan to do all day? I'm curious to know what's your game plan. If you're gonna wake up at 10:30,
right, so let's talk about that scenario. Let's say she wants to not work and stay home, and he's worried that's going to be a problem. What do you do in that situation?
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Ask, if you stay home, what are you going to do?
Do you try to convince her to do something?
Are you going to be involved in the kid's school? You can do charity, funny,
right?
You
Or
work
like
for the
work
church,
for the church.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was just.
You need to communicate.
Yeah,
just communicate.
Right.
But you got to let her try it, because otherwise you'll be deemed controlling, and that won't work. So give it 6 months, see how it goes. And if you start resenting because you're doing nothing except eating bonbons and watching Oprah, different story. If she watches,
that might just work out. She might like that lifestyle.
If
and it
she
might work for the
watches
relationship.
The View, you need to divorce her.
Well, I don't think anyone who listens to the show watches The View or their
wife
spouses.
might be different, dude.
That's true.
All right, Bronny.
But if she watches The View, then you got
No,
other problems on
divorce
your
her.
hand.
No,
Yeah.
divorce her. Okay. All right, Bronny, I love you.
Guys, we're good. We're doing an episode from Cuba. So if you want to listen to that, go join the Patreon.
Oh, and for all our ex-military, retired military, if we don't come back from fucking Cuba, you fucking send people in to get us. I'm not joking. Seriously.
Well, we're going to be fine. It's not
I know, I'm just saying.
Soviet Union.
I want to send fucking people in, bitches.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you in 2 days with our Patreon. You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me.
The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.